Hey everybody, welcome to eTrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Yakima OverHaul HD ladder rack system here on the bed of our 2021 Ford F-250. So this is going to be an excellent way of kind of varying up how your ladder rack can work. And what I mean by that, and as you can probably see, we do have two different height positions with this bad boy available. Why I really like that, of course, we can just raise this up, start utilizing it just like a ladder rack that we're probably come to know and love out there, making it really easy to get either our kayaks, our canoes, or even our ladders right on top of here, get above the cab, which is great. But maybe you just have some accessories you want to quickly access and you just need to maximize the cargo space here in your bed of your truck. You can simply lower it down here, making it a lot easier to get to our accessories. So I really do like how this system works. As you guys are going to see later, the install of it, really simple. One thing I really like about it too, we are going to have a quick disconnect system. I'll show you that guys later too, but all we have to do, pop this bad boy off. That plate's going to open up, allowing us to take out this whole system, but still keeping your foot pad in place. So what's nice about that, I can just pop off both of my racks, set them somewhere inside the garage, and then I have the entire bed space one more time open to me. And later on, I can just walk it right back in. Really easy to do that, which I love. We're getting really good tie down points on here as well. Our middle segment here has them on all of our posts. A little bottle opener there on the underside, never hurt anybody, which is great. And we also are having aluminum construction here with a black powder coat finish. So Yakima, always well known for their style up there too, but it is going to be strong and dependable, which is excellent. And the one thing I'll say about ladder racks too, that black powder coat is excellent. However, as you start setting up some of your loads on top of here, you are just going to see scratches on that top of your HD bar. Again, another black powder coat finish, doing a great job of making sure this lasts us for the years to come. The one thing with that though, you're gonna see blemishes. It just happens. You can do little things to kind of account for it, like a towel or a spacer or something. But at the end of the day, it is gonna be durable, and the construction underneath is making sure that we're not gonna have corrosion starting to eat away at the foundation of our bars, which is great. Overall, really simple to get this raised up here. You guys are seeing 4 bolts on either one of our posts. All you have to do, back these off, loosen your top bars, and then walk it right up, and then you can get it set to your position, which is excellent. Now, if this is something you don't really need, the two differences, one I would look at is either going to be the Yakima outpost system, which is basically this rear guy here. It's going to be held in this position, which is about a 19-inch rise, as compared to our 30-inch rise here on our front ones. So I would recommend the outpost if you're not really needing the traditional ladder style rack. And if you are just needing the ladder style rack, one you could also look at is going to be a multitude of ladder racks we have here at eTrailer.com. One little decent one is going to be the buyer's product ladder rack. Really simple install, pretty much almost as simple as this, albeit not as easy to take on and off. But again, the real bread and joy and butter of this guy is the ability to raise and lower it. Like I said, you have 19 to that 30-inch rise. Just works really well for a variety of different accessories out there. So we are going to have a standard 500-pound weight capacity when we are traditionally going on any kind of roads. Now, if you do find yourself bringing this off-road, that's going to lower it down to about 300 pounds. So definitely keep that in mind. However, those are dynamic load ratings, so when we bring ourselves to a stop, this could still be excellent for something like a rooftop tent on here, so we can crawl on up, get comfortable, which can be great. And again, bringing ourselves back to these HD bars, they are excellent to give us that support that we're looking for as we just went over. Here on the end too, you are seeing a tie-off point, which is excellent, making it a lot easier to actually secure your loads. And again, that in tandem with our hooks we have on the inside of our post, make it really easy to secure a multitude of cargo. And here on the inside and underside of our bars, we have these really handy hash marks. Those can be excellent if you want to find yourself kind of a middle setting, and that way you're aligning both of your towers really quickly. Now we're going to be breaking that down a little bit more in that install, but again, I just love how intuitive this system is and how easy it is to use. One thing about accessories though, our HD bars are quite large. So let me go ahead and get on my handy dandy tape measure here. We have about almost 3 inches of width right underneath it, in fact, and about 1 inch and 7/8 a thickness here on those bars. So that's going to be important for those clamp-on accessories out there that we want to get on here. But what's excellent, at the top, you're seeing this little rubber strip here. That's excellent to start preventing any kind of scuffs and damages, or hopefully prevent any kind of scuffs and damages that our loads are going to be having here on our rack system. But all we have to do, pull that out, start cutting it to size, and we get all of our accessories in that T-slot as well. Really do like how that works. A lot of those new accessories are going to be going to that format, I think. So I love to see how this is future-proofed, ready to handle a lot of accessories. And that stripping is excellent because it reduces that whistle that we all might hear as we start approaching those higher speeds. So as I mentioned before, we are going to have a quick disconnect system, which can work really, really well of popping these off. Simply take your included tool, back this off, and that's going to be opening up this side plate here. Once I've backed it off enough, I can just hand tighten or loosen. And as you can see, this middle plate is actually going to be falling towards the inside of our vehicle. That makes it easier to lift this entire tower system out, repeat that process on the other side, and just lift your rack right off of your vehicle. Now, it is aluminum. It's definitely doable by yourself to actually lift it off and get it in place. I always recommend a second pair of hands, though, as it can be helpful, especially if you're just having a little bit of trouble with the weight of it. It can be a little unwieldy, but it's definitely doable alone. And then we simply just slot it right back in, pull that plate like so, tighten up our knob, of course, tighten it back down with our tool, we're ready to go again. Now, one thing I love about this as well is how easy this system actually is to get installed and to use. Let's go ahead and see how we can get on our vehicle together. To begin our installation, what we need to do is actually get all of our pads in place. So you might notice I already have the other one installed. Let's walk through the steps to actually get this in place. So we're going to start with our bolt and our little spacer here, and that's simply going to go slot down and sit inside of all these channels. Now, how these channels are oriented can matter. We want our longer channels here towards the tailgate of our vehicle, and when you're talking about your front pads, you actually want that front channel towards your cab. And an easy way of finding which is the right pad for yourself, on your driver's side, your rear post is not going to have a lock, while your driver's side is going to have a lock, and therefore your back passenger here on the other side is going to have a locking core attachment there for ourselves. So that can be another easy way of identifying which is the right pad to start setting in place. And another thing, it can matter of where you're spacing this on your vehicle. Now, for a lot of us out there, they're going to be utilizing this for the ladder rack style. Getting it more towards the cab can be excellent. We do have those support runners that can go between our bars, so if that's you as well, that's going to be a little more limiting just based upon that crossbar length you have to connect your post. And another thing to take note of here, you are going to have a lot of areas where you're not going to actually be able to put this on. So you can see here, we also have a liner in here today that's also affecting us. That can be another thing to look out for if your spray-in liner or your set-in liner, as you're seeing here today, is kind of bulbous and taking up a lot of these areas and preventing you from getting to your side rail. That's going to be an issue as well. So let's make sure we're checking that and making sure we can get our hand underneath and actually find that side rail at least in good spots between us. You're going to have a decent little spot here behind your tailgate and, of course, close to your cab. I think everyone at home is probably going to have the ways to getting this on. I just watched those kind of aftermarket liners we all might have. We're going to be taking our clamp here. We have that rubber grounded at the top that's protecting us. I will say they break pretty easily here. I don't know if you're going to see this rubber staying on there time and time again. It's a nice addition, but we're not really too worried about our under rail there. The only thing is maybe if you're compressing it too much, but again, I think we're all going to be pretty okay at home. What I like to do is to take that clamp and kind of get it in position there. It makes it a little easier to actually thread this on. And now I can thread this down and start securing this again. Feeling the underside here, making sure I'm not interacting with anything on my sidewall I don't want to be running into. And now I just need to tighten that up. We also have our included tools that can make it a little easier. And you can notice that I'm having a little trouble getting it any further towards my cab. We do want to be trying to get these bolts as spread out as we can. That's going to do a great job of distributing that weight across our side rails, making sure we're not going to be deforming it anyway or putting too much pressure on one side of our pad. So we can tighten this down to our manufacturer's specifications each time. And we do want to make sure we're not pulling our side rails too bad, but we want to be nice and secure. That's looking great. Of course, let's repeat that process on all the rest of our pads. Again, placement can be a little bit up to you at home, depending on your accessories, your load needs, all of that. But again, leaving a decent room between you and your cab can be very important as well. And that way you get that nice clean look for yourself. So as I mentioned before, we are going to have our quick release system on here as well, which is actually an assist us of getting this installed. We're going to be taking our tower and we're going to be simply setting it in place and then bringing it down, bringing our plate back into line and then tightening that up. You are going to have an included tool as well. Let's make sure we're hand tightening it to get it nice and in line, but then really tightening it up. That way it's nice and secure. Now we actually need to get our HD bars installed. To do that, we're going to pop off our end caps utilizing one of our included tools, sliding our bracket into position here on the underside. And now we just need to align this. So what I like to do is just take my measurements from either side of my crossbar, and then I just kind of even it out to where it looks good to begin with, get my measurements done, go back and forth and get it done. What you can do, you can use this underside here. It has these really nice checkered markers, making it a little easier to get installed. I find when you actually get it installed the first time, write that number down, remember it, it's easier to go back to it when you are lowering and raising your bars. The first time though, you kind of just sit there going back and forth. So I usually just do it manually. Seems to work out pretty well that way. And now we just simply want to insert our bolts. It can be pretty tricky to find this bracket. What I like to do, utilize my tool, push it forward till I have one aligned, and then set the other up for success. So you can hand tighten these a little bit. The one thing I'll say too, let's make sure that our posts are even. That way we're actually securing into our HD bars. And why I say that, you have a little lip here it wants to sit into. And when you are in the lower position, for these closer set bolts to your post, you can see that our included tool only has about 3/4 of revolution available. So it can be a little bit of pain to get this guy, but just take it nice and slow, have a little patience, and we'll have it nice and secure. I will say sometimes it can be a pain. Just try pushing down on your bar as well. Can be helpful, making sure you're level. And again, double checking your measurements every time, because you never know what slight little shifting you're gonna do, and you can move these bars. But not gonna be in the world just to back them up and resize them, but let's double check all our connections. We are nice and secure. Now today I'm just gonna have it here in the lower position, just to give us kind of a variance between our heights that we do have. So the last thing we need to do is actually get this in place, our locking core. So again, we are gonna have it on our back passenger and our front driver's side. Simply take your block, set it right there on the inside, turn that key, lock it in place, give it a tug to make sure we're nice and secure. And there we go, installed. And this way, our overhaul system is gonna be staying on our truck no matter where we leave it unattended. As you guys saw, that install really doesn't take too much time, and it really kind of is a breeze to lower and drop these. It really helps that we have those hash marks. The hash marks on the underside make it really easy to record where we want our bars, take them down, bring them back down, check those numbers, and get them all cinched up, ready to go again. It's awesome how easy it works, and I think it looks pretty good doing it. I really don't think you can beat the drop and the rise. Again, if the variation of it doesn't really sell you on it, then I don't think this product is quite right for you. We have a lot of different products here at eTrailer.com. That Yakima Outpost is excellent for those quick connect systems, like I said, or anything quick and accessory-wise you want to throw in the bed of your truck. And again, we have a ton of ladder racks available here at eTrailer.com. Overall, though, I think the Yakima OverHaul is just a great system. Really big fan of it. Hope you guys are too. Otherwise, I think that about does it for our look at the Yakima OverHaul HD truck bed ladder rack system here on the bed of our 2021 Ford F-250. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.